There's no chance of turning back now. Welcome back, everybody. Whew. It's been a long couple weeks since we first discovered the whole wrong landing gear issue, and I think you saw in the last video that problem solved. Okay, Carrie, Chris, and Mark from Sonex, we all got together, figured out what needed to be done, and the parts have been ordered, on the way. And quick update, everything that I've had to purchase so far for the aircraft. Now this is everything, including everything I need to rebuild the stabilators, everything I need to do the aileron counterweights, and 2 new flaps, basically, other than the 1 brand new skin I still have here. And then the 4 components that I need to change the fuselage for the tricycle gear. Everything cost me, I think it's $1,736 and some odd change, and that includes the shipping, the freight. Now the freight, I think, came to be $370 of that. So component-wise, I'm fixing everything for $1,400, let's call it, a little less than $1,400, which is not terrible. I mean, it's $1,400, don't get me wrong, it's still a lot of money, and I'm not excited to spend it, but the peace of mind that comes with that is more than worth it. And now I get to build virtually the entire plane myself, including some stuff that the factory kind of flubbed up. Not a big deal. So everything's ordered, everything's on its way. 1 box actually already arrived, and I don't know why they got broken up in transit, but the other one should be here Monday. And now, in preparation for all this work that's coming my way and more videos for you, today I'm taking a real close look at the fuselage, deciding, well, I know what needs to come out. I'm deciding the best way to get them out, and I'll probably start drilling out rivets and see if I can't have everything out with a better understanding of how it's going to go back in before the parts arrive. Typically, I would wait till they were here, but these things need to come out regardless. So that's what I'm going to work on. There's a couple things I'm a little iffy on, because in order to do this, I think I need to remove more rivets than just what's contained on these components, because there's some other things that kind of get in the way from the removal and will get in the way of the installation of the new parts. I don't think it's too much. There's a front piece of sheet that is bent for the front of the spar tunnel. It comes from the floor, comes up, and then across the top of the spar tunnel, and then rivets into that strong angle iron piece with all the rivets that the front of the landing gear mounts attached to at the top rear corner of the spar tunnel. Now that is just sheet metal, so it should have some flex, but it has, I think, 4 or 5 rivets in each end with some small angle brackets that hold it to the outside skin of the cabin. So I'm thinking I leave the angles attached to that, and just drill out the 4 or 5 rivets on each side to the skin. That should allow me to to flex that up enough to get the new components down in and the old components out. The only possible problem with that is that angle may keep that piece too stiff to allow it to flex, so I may need to take these small angles on the outer edges of that skin, or not skin, tunnel component, we'll call it, off so that I can get a little bit of a flex and curl to that for more clearance if needed. The hard part is I need to decide that ahead of time, because once it's separated from the skin, it's going to want to move around a little bit more. I won't be able to get as much up pressure on it with the drill while I'm drilling out the rivets. So I probably need to look at that very closely, make a decision, and remove the rivets in the order that I think they need to come out in. But other than that, I still think it's fairly straightforward, but it is a lot of rivets. I grabbed a set of vice grips, so I'm going to be putting the vice grips on the back tail of each rivet, going under the fuselage, drilling the rivet, coming back up, moving the vice grips to the next unit, drilling the next rivet. So it's going to be a lot of up and down, and my back's been killing me all week. I actually spent an entire afternoon swinging sledgehammers trying to get the rotors off the front of my Ram 2500 that were just rusted and seized on. Got the job done with the help of some younger, much more brawny guys. One guy actually broke the disc away from the rotor hub with his strength, which actually was a plus, because then I got in there with a zip tool, made some cuts, split the rest of the hub, got it off, ground it, clean it, put it all back together, all new components. But that's truck work. We're talking airplanes here. So, but I'm a bit sore. Getting up, getting down, shoulders back. I got a pretty good bruise across my ribs from swinging a 8-pound sledge and having it catch my ribs a few times. But so if I'm moving slowly and gingerly, yes, I'm getting old. And it gets more obvious each and every day. But yeah, so for a lot of that, I'll probably just time lapse it, because you're going to see me under the fuselage, over and over and in the fuselage, and back and forth, I don't know how many times. And I'll try and find some really nasty music to put that to. So yeah, let's get started.
noticed. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was like, what is he trying to do?
Okay, that did not go as planned, just like everything else. And I'm a total novice. I hope nobody out there is actually watching me in an attempt to learn because I am definitely still learning. Um, I got 16 rivets drilled out, just these little sheet metal brackets. And I spun 2 rivets in oblong holes in 2 of these. I don't know if that'll be visible or not, but that one's not quite as bad, but a little oversized. Um, Not a big deal. I can order really short, oversized rivets. I believe 5/32. So not the end of the world. These parts can be reused, I'm sure. The holes in the skins kind of match. Um, I'm not too concerned with it, but it presented the problem of I don't know what the hell I'm doing when it comes to drilling rivets. I Every time I do it, I think I learn, but each scenario seems to be a little bit different. So whereas I do keep learning, I also keep finding new things to learn. So I just made a short trip to the world's most favorite disposable tool store, good old Harbor Freight, and bought a couple of cheapy vice grips, a needle nose and a small one. And what I plan on doing is taking an 1/8 inch drill or an 1/8 inch end mill and creating a small pocket, both going this way through the tips of the jaws and then also um, in line with the jaws. I'm going to probably off to one side, but I will drill or bore some small holes there specifically for holding the rivet tails because try just regular vice grips and put them on there. You can't quite get close enough, especially a lot of rivets are, right down near an edge. The ones on the ends were the troublesome ones because they were not only like near this edge where I can get those, but when you get to a corner, it's really hard to get in. So that's where I'm hoping the needle nose will help out, and I may even need to grind off the edge of this a little bit. But yeah, before I go drilling any more rivets out, I'm going to make a couple tools. I also grabbed these. I don't know if I can just break those off, but really long 16-inch long reach pliers. I figured those may come in handy, seeing how I'm working by myself here all the time. So if I can reach around the corner, get down in, hold the tail of a rivet, and hopefully get enough leverage on it here. If I need to modify these, I will. I don't know, they were $12, $13 for the pair. I don't care. I'll drill them, I'll modify them, whatever needs to happen to get the job done. So, but if I can reach around one side, hold something way down low, and proceed to drill on the other side, um, then that's what I will do. I also think I'm going to go back to using the rivet removal tool. There are the pieces on there that are supposed to kind of bite into the head of the rivet a little bit and keep it from spinning. And you can also set the drill depth so you don't break through and potentially destroy more material when you break through sometimes. So that's where I'm at. Time to go make some tools. I'll be back. So here is what I ended up with. I took the needle nose vice grips, we'll call them, even though they're the cheap Harbor Freight version. I don't know if you can tell, but I got a notch in the top jaw. So what that does is it ensures 3 points of contact, which is about the best you can really get most situations. So the jaws wiggle on these, so that's why I wasn't too worried about it. They're junk. But in addition to the needle nose being held on the end of the rivet, to keep it from spinning, I took the other vice grips and I locked those to the lower jaw of the needle nose, and I put those against whatever surface is next in the direction of rotation. I put those in there first, touch it to whatever it's going to possibly bump into if it started to spin, so it can't spin, move it up, and then get it fully on the rivet tail, and then I lock it down. So the whole thing is kind of locked in place. And I also decided that the air drill is just way too fast. So I went and got the DeWalt, put my angled head on there, and I tried this on the low speed. It seemed to be a little too slow, but on number 2, it seems to be doing all right. And I'm pulsing the drill. I'm like, just short bursts and watching it closely, because if you're paying attention, you can tell when you pop off the needle head. It'll start to ride up the drill bit just a little bit, or you can, if you're watching, it'll wiggle enough to let you know that it is free, and that keeps you from drilling all the way through and making any more damage. Then I can use the needle nose in the back end to just kind of like wiggle tug to get the tail out, doing minimum amount of damage. So once again, I learned something about drilling rivets. Will I remember next time? I don't know. I may have to learn it all over again. So I've already done one side here. 2 of the heavy angle brackets that's attached to the back spar wall, tunnel wall, and to the seat support ribs. And all I'm doing is drilling them out of the seat support ribs. I'm hoping to be able to take all 4 components that I'm replacing out at one time without having to disassemble each one, because to be honest with you, I don't even know how I'm going to be able to reach in the spar tunnel and ensure that I am drilling through the head of the rivet, and I'm not going to have any visibility to know when I've gotten through the head, so there's a pretty strong chance I'll drill through more or deeper than I need to. So if I could get these out in one assembly, that would be awesome, because that will ensure that I can put it all back together, cleco it, pull those 4 pieces out in one assembly, rivet them together outside of the fuselage, and then hopefully get them all back in as one unit, re-cleco everything, make sure it's aligned properly, and then finally rivet it in place. So that's the plan. I'm going to show you the manner that I'm doing this right now. So let's build a plane. Wow, what a long day. I mean, a lot of thinking, planning, and definitely a lot of rivets to drill. So here's the part we need to rebuild and somehow get it back into the fuselage without bending it up too much. Without taking the seat support ribs completely out and having to redo all those, or some other more major work. It's a tight squeeze. I mean, I was able to, well, this part's inside the cabin. This goes towards the firewall. I was able to remove it all one piece, basically because I wanted to see if I could reinstall it all as one piece, because if not, I have no idea how I'm going to pull these center rivets. I mean, I guess I could reach in through the spar tunnel and try and give it a good squeeze, but that's going to be hard to get a lot of grip on. So I don't know. Now, in removing it, this corner, I don't know if you can see well, definitely got bent and deflected out of the way. I could be a little more gentle trying to put it back in, or put the new one in. Maybe not get quite as much of a bend, but I don't see how I'm going to do it without allowing some deflection. Now, I may just not do, the first 6-8 inches of rivets. I can get to those fairly easily, I think, with my manual rivet gun. And that will give me a little more flex on this part of this sheet metal. So that may be something to consider. These two pieces need to be saved and used into the replacement part. This is gone, this is gone, this is gone, and this is gone. So, and also just came to the brilliant realization that I ordered the 4 components. Do you think I would order the rivets to put it back in? Nope. So I'm going to give sales a call first thing Monday morning, or maybe I'll even fire off an email later tonight, and hopefully they'll get it, respond, and get some rivets shipped out to me first thing on Monday. May even ask them to send them priority or something, so that I have them next weekend to come in and work on the plane. If not, the other parts should be here. I could probably work on something else, start on stabilators or ailerons or flaps or something. But yeah, big day. No turning back now. So I don't know what to think. I'll be honest with you. I'm really happy that I got this far. I'm definitely a little nervous that I'm cutting into, the core part of the spar structure, but it's not that complicated. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's over-engineered. We all know that about the Sonex aircraft. So I will need to do some oversized rivets along the bottom going through the floor skin. I have probably 3 or 4 that are slightly oblonged, and but that shouldn't make a difference because I think there's like 35 or 36 rivets across the bottom of this, so that should not be a big deal. And I may very well just have Carrie send me the slightly oversized rivets, the 5/32, and just do all those straight across there. I know they don't like putting a whole lot of them in one place, but I don't want to have various rivet sizes in there. I'd like to try and keep a clean look, and I think they're stronger rivets. But anyways, yeah, big day. We're this far, and I'm excited. I think I earned myself a drink, so you guys know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down there with the little notifications bell so you know when I post a new video. Hit the thumbs up because YouTube thinks that's a big deal, and that will allow the videos to get seen a lot more, and sharing it with your friends always helps. So thanks for watching.